Now that we understand how photosynthesis works, let's dive into an important question. What affects the rate of photosynthesis? In other words, what decides how fast or how well a plant can make its food? Well, there are two main types of factors, external and internal. External factors, the environment around the plant. These are things happening outside the plant, and they can change from moment to moment. Light intensity. Photosynthesis needs sunlight to power the reactions. More light generally means faster photosynthesis, but only up to a certain point. After that, it levels off. Temperature. Since photosynthesis depends on enzymes, temperature plays a big role. Too cold, and the enzymes slow down. Too hot, and they can stop working or get damaged. CO2 concentration. Carbon dioxide is the raw material for making glucose. When there's more CO2 around, plants can fix it faster, again, up to a limit. Water. Water is split in the light reaction to release electrons and protons. Without enough water, photosynthesis slows down, and the plant might even close its stomata to prevent water loss, reducing CO2 intake too. So, if any one of these is lacking, photosynthesis can't run at full speed. Internal factors, what's inside the plant. Leaf size, number, and age. Younger and larger leaves with more surface area absorb more sunlight. Orientation of leaves. Leaves facing the sun capture more light, smart, right? Mesophyll cells and chloroplasts. The more mesophyll cells a plant has, and the more chloroplasts inside them, the more photosynthesis it can do. Chlorophyll content. This is the green pigment that captures sunlight. More chlorophyll usually means more light energy can be used. Internal CO2 levels. Even if the air has CO2, it needs to get inside the leaf. A healthy leaf structure ensures good gas exchange. All these internal features depend on the plant's genetics and also on how well it has grown. Blackman's law of limiting factors. Back in 1905, a scientist named Blackman explained something very clever. He said, if many factors affect a process, its rate is controlled by the one that is in the shortest supply. This is called the law of limiting factors. So, imagine a plant has plenty of sunlight, the right temperature, and enough water. But the CO2 is low. Then CO2 becomes the limiting factor. Only when CO2 increases will photosynthesis speed up, until something else becomes the next limiting factor. It's kind of like baking a cake. You might have eggs, milk, and sugar. But if you don't have enough flour, you can't bake more cakes, no matter how much of everything else you have. Light and CO2 effects. Light effects. At low intensities, there's a linear relationship between light and CO2 fixation. At higher intensities, the rate plateaus as other factors become limiting. Light saturation occurs at just 10% of full sunlight, making light rarely a limiting factor in nature except in dense forests or shade. Excessive light can damage chlorophyll and decrease photosynthesis rate. CO2 concentration. CO2 is often the major limiting factor for photosynthesis, with atmospheric concentration between 0.03 to 0.04%. Increasing concentration up to 0.05% can boost fixation rates, but higher levels may be damaging over time. C3 and C4 plants respond differently. C4 plants saturate at about 360 microliter raised to -1 CO2, while C3 plants continue responding to higher concentrations, saturating beyond 450 microliter raised to -1. The differential response to CO2 has practical applications. Some greenhouse crops like tomatoes and bell peppers C3 plants are grown in CO2-enriched atmospheres to increase yields, taking advantage of their continued response to higher CO2 levels. Temperature and water effects. Temperature effects. Dark reactions are enzymatic and thus temperature controlled. Light reactions are less temperature sensitive. C4 plants show higher photosynthesis rates at higher temperatures, while C3 plants have lower temperature optimums. Water affects photosynthesis indirectly. Water stress causes stomata to close, reducing CO2 availability. It also makes leaves wilt, decreasing leaf surface area and metabolic activity. Let's understand temperature effect. Temperature optimums for photosynthesis vary based on habitat adaptation. Tropical plants have higher temperature optimums than those adapted to temperate climates. These factors interact in complex ways. For example, high temperatures often coincide with water stress in natural environments, creating multiple limitations on photosynthesis rates. Plants have evolved various adaptations to optimize photosynthesis under their specific environmental conditions. Let's wrap it all up with a quick and easy summary of photosynthesis, the amazing process by which plants make their own food. Photosynthesis is the process by which green plants make their own food using sunlight, carbon dioxide, and water. To summarize, 6 molecules of carbon dioxide enter the Calvin cycle. These are used as the carbon source to build glucose. 12 molecules of water are split during the light reactions. This provides electrons and protons, and also releases oxygen as a byproduct. From this process, the plant produces 1 molecule of glucose, which stores energy and can be used for growth and metabolism. In the end, 6 molecules of oxygen are released into the atmosphere. This is the oxygen we breathe. So, photosynthesis takes in carbon dioxide and water, uses sunlight as energy, and gives out glucose and oxygen. It's a fundamental process that supports life on Earth. We hope that you have understood the topic. You can now study chapter notes, watch video lectures and solve MCQ tests of this chapter on EduRev to ensure you score well in your exams. And that's not all. You also get amazing courses for maths, science, English, Hindi, and much more for NEET. Thank you.